here.
Here we go.
Check. All right. Yeah, just Jordan and I today.
That's right.
Where's Brian? Brian's he has a grad thing or something? A kid thing?
I think he was in the UK.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe he's
giving a talk.
It was his turn to go to see the Brits and have a conversation with them.
A lot of people have been going over there. There was just Laravel Live there, so Aaron was there. Yeah, that's...
I feel left out.
You got to book a trip, I mean.
I know.
It's
My
good
wife's
to...
taking trips. My cousin's in from out of town. I mean, you know what I actually want to do?
What's that?
I want to go to Miami. I have a bunch of friends in Miami, and I haven't been to a World Cup game, and I want to just go to a big bar with them. And
Oh, that'd be fun.
yes, and I'm like, I think that actually might just be worth just getting on a plane for a few hours.
Do you think you could do that? Like, you would just jump on a plane, go to Miami?
Yeah,
Dude.
yeah, absolutely. Why not?
That's
Why
the
not?
dream. That's
I
the
have
dream.
a ton of friends there. I could just stay at one of their houses for the night and just shoot down there. You know, my wife, what is she doing? She's taking my daughter and going to New York with a bunch of other moms and daughters for their like 8th grade graduation. And they're like going to live it up and stay at the Soho Grand. And I'm like, what? Yeah, maybe I should think about myself a little bit here.
Maybe I should do that, yeah.
Because the original trip was supposed to be the three of us, my wife and I and our oldest daughter, going to LA. And I love LA. I prefer to go to LA over New York. And I had it all planned out. And my daughter agreed. She wanted to go to New York. And then somehow this whole thing with like a bunch of other moms happened. So now they're going to New York without me. No LA, no New York. Yep.
That seems discriminatory. You can't go on the mom trip?
A little bit.
By the way, I got to just say, I just saw my mom was in town. We had a big family in town for my son's graduation. My son did graduate. Let's give a round of applause.
Like from high school? Like
from
done?
high school, yeah.
Wow, very nice.
And so my mom was in town. My aunt was in town. My daughter, my son. We had the whole gang. But my mom says she loves the show and she loves Jordan. That's that was her report. So you got another fan. The moms love you,
Jackson.
Jordan. Mom Jackson, which is actually how she is in my phone for some reason. My nieces ended up calling my mom because my sister always called her mom. And so they've called her mom forever. So now she's just Mom Jackson to everybody.
I like it. Well, hello, Mom Jackson.
Yeah. I
hope to meet you one day. Thanks for listening. Appreciate you.
Well, we'll have her on the show sometime. That'll be fun. Yeah, I'm hosting today, so we're going to get right into it. I just want to say hi to people in the chat. We got Dave Jones, of course. Seth, good to see you. Colin. We've got Emmett. So
what's going on? Brutal couple weeks. What's happening?
Yeah. Yeah, nice to see everybody, and glad you're here. We got some good topics this week. I'm excited to get into it. I'm going to
try to talk about this as much as I can without just giving away all of my fucking secrets. I have such a problem. I don't like sharing real strategy, but I can definitely talk about it in a way that's helpful.
Yeah, well, I'll just try to get you talking and get you to run your mouth a little bit so that you say all the good stuff. That's what people are here for. You got TJ asking you questions there. Oh, the foundation. I haven't heard that in a long time. Dane? Was it Dane? What was that guy's name?
Dane. Yeah. Funny cat. Good dude.
All right. Let me do the intro. Anything else in chat you guys want us to talk about? I've got the topics that I sent out, but if you all have anything you want us to talk about, just let us know in the chat.
Yeah. Right. Any news we want to talk about? Anything happening in tech world?
Yeah, that's a good. I've been so out of it. It's been so busy. Oh yeah, Dane Maxwell. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's it. I did like, what did I see? There was a post from a company called Victor. I don't like their vibe. It's way too hypey, but they had a fantastic post that I want to talk about.
Okay, well, why don't you see if you can find it? I'm going to grab some more water. I've got a little bit of a cough, so just post it in Telegram. I'm not going to the sauna. I'll be right back.
Uh-huh. Here, I'll post in here. Man, I don't know how to handle this YouTube chat thing. Here, this is the post.
I don't know if you'll be able to post it in the... Oh, yeah, you can. You got permissions. All right, yeah, maybe we can get to this.
I'm in.
Okay. Anthropic killed Victor. Okay. Context. We've been building. All right, let's do this.
Yes.
Welcome to the panel where founders discuss how to build a better business and a better life. I'm Justin Jackson, co-founder of Transistor.fm.
And I am Jordan Gaw, co-founder at HeyRosie.com. Just the two of us today.
That's right, Brian.
Just the two of us.
We can make it if we try. Are we doing a singing bit now?
I mean, look, I can't, I got called out on it actually this week. When I get on a call, I've realized that the energy that I bring into a call is really important.
Yes.
Right? We're not in person. When we're in person, like my whole vibe like radiates outward. Happiness, positive, aggressive, fun, let's go. But remote, you lose that.
Yes.
And sometimes I find myself, I don't know, not that energetic, and I come into a call and I'm like, hey, it's actually up to me.
Yeah.
To set this energy level. And so when I get into a call, I'm usually doing some pumping my fists, and I did it on an agency call, and they were like, "Man, we love every call. Every time we get on the call, you're just like pumped up." And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess I'm doing it now with outside vendors also."
That's right. I mean, you got to do that. You can't be demure. That's the thing. If you get on a call and everyone's kind of demure, it's not. People want energy. That's the whole thing. And if you bring the energy, they'll generally respond positively.
Yes, they kind of meet you where your energy is. And the other thing that I have been a lot better at over the last few months than in the past is also decisiveness in meetings.
Okay.
So just, kind of being very free to go with the opinion that I have and argue for it, and kind of, because I'm a middle sibling. And my nature is generally consensus driven. Okay. What do you think? What do you think? Defer. Yeah. And I think it's important to defer, especially if it's like a product question. Like I want to defer to Jessica.
Yeah.
So I don't have the easiest time being super decisive especially around things that aren't directly in my wheelhouse. But over the last few months, I've done that. Sometimes it has come across a bit harsh.
Yeah.
And I've had to apologize sometimes.
Well, let's talk about that, because I think it leads into you wanted to talk about all caps. Take control of your funnel. I want you to get into that, but maybe just I'm interested about your energy in meetings, because I've been thinking about this a lot as well. There is this balance. Like, what's the balance of being able to be clear, being able to set a clear direction, being able to make decisions? It seems to me that consensus is not always the best approach, but sometimes it is. So what's the balance?
I wish I could say I have like a system or a framework, but a lot of it is like mood driven and situation driven.
Okay.
So I think what's defined the last, call it 2 months or so, has been impatience.
Yeah.
And that has driven my mood.
Yep.
And that'll make you a little cranky and a little straightforward and a bit harsh. And I have let myself do that and be okay with it.
What does the team think?
They know what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
They know that my goal is in the right place. And if I ever cross any type of a line or say something rude or something, then I'm going to apologize. But it doesn't need to be rude. It just needs to be forceful.
Mm-hmm.
So I had we work with an outside contractor that helps us. I don't want to name any names or give any hints or anything. And we had this conversation a few weeks ago, and I felt myself going toward consensus and then being like, no, actually, that's not what I mean. I don't want it that way.
Yeah.
Here's why. And then they kind of came back with like, okay, I get it. So what you want to do is X. And I was like, no. You're not getting it. I want it this way, and here's why. Mm-hmm. And I almost had to like drive it home a few times. And after the call, he pinged me and was like, everything okay? Like, are we good?
Yeah.
And I had to be like, yes, here's why I behaved that way or said it that way or taken this point of view. Okay, I think it's important at times.
Let's pause right here.
Okay.
I want it that way. I've been thinking about this so much.
Okay.
I want it that way. I think this is the thing.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. No. Okay. I want to push back to you though for a second.
Yeah.
I think I don't want to like put too many words in your mouth, so I want you to explain it. But here's my hypothesis.
Yeah.
You are in the middle of an experience around this video element to your product.
Yeah.
Where you took too long to make your strong opinion known.
Yeah.
And now that it's being followed according to the way that you want it.
Yeah.
It's working out the way that you want it to work. Yeah. And it gives you this feedback that comes back and says, you should do that more often.
Yes. Yeah, that's probably true. I think also just realizing like this is my company. John and I have this company, and we started off saying we are going to build this company and this product in the way that we want. And I think it's easy to lose sight of that. It's easy to get swayed by like, what does the Twitter crowd want? What do our peers expect of us? What do our employees want? What do certain customers want? Mm-hmm. And more and more, like when I've gotten lost, I think it's all been around me deferring and not being honest about, first of all, identifying what do I want? And second, making that known. And I think since I've gotten more clear about that, I think everything gets more clear because employees are like, well, what do you want? Like, where's the company going? And so John and I had to articulate, where are we going? What's important to us? And so then when things come up, like, well, we should be building this company so that we can get acquired by a big company and all make millions of dollars. And John and I are like, we don't want that. We don't want to build that kind of company. And so we just need to be clear about what we want. And I'm
not that easy.
Not that easy.
Not as easy as it should be.
I think I'm realizing more and more like this is our boat. Like we started the boat, we set the direction. If you want to come with us where we're going, jump in our boat. If you don't, and this goes for everybody, again, customers, employees, partners, whoever. If you don't like our boat, if you don't like where we're headed, that's fine. Yeah. Go get your own boat. And I'm just realizing, like, if you've ever been in a canoe and everybody's trying to paddle a different direction it doesn't work. It's chaos. And so understanding that, and now having this metaphor in my head of like, I have been in canoes where everybody's trying to pull a different direction. And then eventually it's like, sorry, like there's one person steering this boat. It's the steersman. They're going to set our direction, and everybody else is going to follow and listen to what they want to do. Now you can, if you're up in the bow, is that right? If you're up in the bow and you see something up ahead and you need to report back, hey boss, like there's something, we got to be aware of this. That's fine. Or if you have an idea of like, hey, we could paddle more efficiently if we do it this way, great. But you can't have too many cooks in the kitchen. You can't have too many people steering things. We're getting comments in the chat saying that this canoe example is too Canadian. But
yes. Yeah, we are too used to the ideas around democracy.
Yeah.
Companies are not a democracy.
Companies are not a democracy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
It's closer to dictatorship than it is democracy.
And even in democracy, the whole point is that you're hiring a leader to set the vision and the direction. Like in a democracy, you're saying, okay, we got this leader, this leader, this leader. Who do we think is going to do the best job of taking us where we want to go? And ultimately, it's up to them. They get elected, and then they have to tell their government, listen, we're going this way. And if it's the weak, ineffective leaders are the ones that are just like, well, let's play it safe. Let's wait and see. What
do people want? What will keep me popular?
That's right.
Especially in the founder operator, right? Very different from like a CEO that's brought in that doesn't have the same DNA alongside the company.
Yeah.
So if we kind of take this and bring it down into like this practical level of day to day.
Yeah.
I have felt a lot better over the last few months, taking more ownership and more control and being comfortable doing so. I find some inspiration in, other founders. I try to look for the right inspiration, not who's getting the most attention or who raised the most money or who's the coolest or whatever else. I like behavior. That's inspirational. My latest inspiration is Ryan Cohen.
Okay.
The CEO of GameStop. Right. Was the founder of Chewy that got acquired for $800 million, and then became CEO of GameStop, and is now making a bid to merge/acquire eBay.
Wow. Canadian, by the way.
Canadian,
born in Montreal.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Canadian Jewish guy in Montreal. That's right. Grew up with his dad as an entrepreneur. Learned a lot from him. Now he lives in Miami, actually, in my friend's neighborhood.
Wow.
And I love the chutzpah. Like it's almost like you're gonna die. It doesn't matter. Just literally just do whatever you want.
Yeah. Do some things. I've really been liking Tony Fadell. Do you know him?
No,
I think you would actually love his energy, dude. Just look up some Tony Fadell YouTube videos. Search for him on YouTube. He's the founder of Nest. He was the one of the original kind of product designers behind the iPod. So worked with Steve Jobs, but he embodies this clarity of vision and I think team building. I think he has the right mix, where he's defining the direction, he's defining what is expected, he's defining the levers that he thinks are important. So, for example, he's a big market first guy. Like, the market is going to respond to this because of this, and we're going to build a prototype, and we're going to build it in a way that helps us realize all the hard parts, and then we're going to actually lean into doing the hard stuff.
Okay.
And he's got a few talks on YouTube that are just great. Highly recommended.
Cool. All right, I'm going to check it out. So you want to talk about the funnel?
Tell me the story first. I want to hear the story about
all right,
how this came up.
Fine, I got stories. you asked me to tell a story. I'm game, Justin.
Let's go. Story time.
Okay, it starts 15 years ago. How's that for a story?
I wasn't expecting that.
Okay, so about 15 years ago, I ran an e-commerce company with my brothers. We were merchants. We sold physical products online. We used Volusion as our platform. That's you can date it back to that.
Yeah. What was the name of the company? Is it Gal Bros Limited?
Yes.
Okay.
It's called the company was called YCA, which is the three initials of the three brothers. I'm the C. That's for my Hebrew name.
Okay. Yeah.
And so in that company, we each had areas of responsibility. One brother was responsible for marketing, getting people to the site. I was responsible for converting people once they got to the site, and my younger brother was responsible for everything that happened after the purchase.
Okay.
The shipping, the customer service, the delivery, the reviews, all that stuff. So we kind of split up literally into the funnel, like the top of the funnel, the middle of the funnel, and the back end.
Yeah.
And what that did is it made me stare at a website and say, how do I get people to do what I want them to do? Mm-hmm. How do I get them to click the buttons that I want them to click, to make the purchase, to make the decisions that I want them to make? And that really worked. It really worked. It was an education, curve. I had to work my way up. But along the way, I realized the things I think in my mind and then act out on the page have a very, very real impact on the business.
Mm-hmm. Can you give an example of that?
One of my favorite examples. We used live chat software that allowed us to see who was on the site and their breadcrumbs, basically which pages they had gone to, how long they spent there. And so I would watch that. There's always, I don't know, during the day, it's 4, 5, 6 people at a time browsing, and you're looking at their behavior, trying to figure out what are they doing, where are they going. It's also exciting to see someone add something to the cart, and you're rooting them on, and oh no, sale came through, and then you see, okay, cool. Just very visual, visceral experience. One thing that I kept noticing is that people would get to the site, they'd land on the product page, which is where we sent the ad. They would add it to the cart. So exactly what we want them to do.
Yeah.
Right? They saw an ad, they looked for a product, they got to the product page, the product satisfied their needs, conveyed the right information to give them enough comfort to add to the cart. And then they would get on the cart, and then I would see them go to the About page. Or go to, the home page and then drop out before purchasing. Mm-hmm. And I kept noticing people going to the About page. I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
And then what you realize is that's because they don't know you or trust you yet. They just saw an ad. They're about to pull their credit card out, and they want to understand who they're doing business with. Mm-hmm. So what we did is we optimized the About page. We put a picture of the three of us, basically, leaned into our differentiation, which was, this is a family business. They're real people behind here. And then we had our 5-point customer pledge, always free shipping and this thing and customer service and whatever else. And then I would see people add something to the cart, go to the About page, come back to the cart page, go to the checkout page and buy. And I was like, oh, it worked. So that's an example among many others, like removing things from the header once they get to the checkout page and changing the button colors and making sure that you set up front that shipping is free, not waiting until the reveal of the shipping being free, that type of thing. All right, so that formed the basis of the next company, which was CartHook.
Yeah.
Because all CartHook was building a tool that I wanted as an e-commerce merchant that I didn't have. Which was, just let me control the damn funnel. Just let me send people where I want and then buy however I want them to buy and then just send the order into the back end. Stop putting me in this little box of a front end around the store. That's what CartHook was.
Yeah.
Okay? So this is in my past, right? And Rosie now is self-serve software. It's the first time I've really done fully self-serve. And one of the things you realize, especially if you're spending a lot of money on ads, is it really matters. The conversion rate of every single step matters. And that combined with my impatience over the last few months, because we've been doing well. Like, this thing just keeps growing. Awesome. But I know we could be doing better. I feel it. I'm like, this thing could be a rocket ship. This thing could add 50K a month in MRR. I know it.
Dude, you are feeling the same things I'm feeling.
Yes. Okay. So what that did is it kind of it made the volcano erupt. It was like, I've had enough. I'm just going to take control. And so what I did was I looked at our funnel and I was like, hey, buddy, you know how to optimize a funnel.
Yep.
Like, take the gloves off, push everything out of the way, and say, this is how I want our funnel to be. Let's go.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks ago, on Tuesday, we ran the first experiment in this new funnel.
Okay.
And oh my God.
It worked?
It doubled.
Wow.
It doubled.
So you did something that doubled signups?
Doubled signups. Not just signups. Signups with a credit card on file, which is the most important metric for us.
That's what you want. That's the most important metric for anybody.
That's right. Because we convert 85% of trials that put a credit card on file. So it's it's basically everybody. Everyone that puts a credit card on file, you're going to convert.
Dude, I thought we were high. We have 75% and that's high, but 85 that's incredible.
It's great. There's a bunch of factors mixed in there, It's only 7 days. Some people convert without fully adopting, whatever. But before the experiment, we were converting 85% of cards on file. But our onboarding was in such a way that people created an account, went through onboarding screens, and then put their card on file. And the theory was, these people just saw an ad. They've never heard about us before. They sign up. Let's give them value. Let's show them how awesome this thing is before we ask them for a credit card on file. And that worked for a while. But the market has changed. Our reputation in the market has changed. Our marketing in general, our maturity, the market's maturity. So I said, maybe we shouldn't be bound by this assumption that we need to provide a whole bunch of value before someone puts a credit card on file.
Yeah. I love that question even. Like, let's just question this assumption. What are we bound by? What are we artificially maybe putting more friction in front of us?
We're just convincing ourselves. Any of these things, the exact price, what to call the plan name, all these things have so many factors that you can't know. You don't know.
Yeah.
But you start to assume. And then there's this weird element of everything is kind of working really well. So that can convince you to look elsewhere. The funnel's working. Leave that thing alone. Go fix other stuff. Go put more at the top of the funnel. Try new channels, whatever else.
Yeah.
But I guess this kind of came back into focus and these assumptions just got, questioned. And so we made one change, which is to force a credit card addition before you get into the admin. That's it. We just said everything remains the same, but after the account creation page, we just put you right into a credit card page. That's it.
So essentially credit card up front.
Credit card up front. So there's always a trade-off, right?
Yeah.
Some people are not going to do that. They're going to say, oh, I have to put a credit card up front. I'm going to leave. So you're going to have some number go down in the number of people, the percentage of people who are willing to do that. Okay, fine. But the question is, does the fact that a lot more people see the credit card up front, does that make up for it by having more people just come across it and put their card in before they go through the onboarding? And it's double. That's the number. The number is exactly double.
You know what? This relates perfectly to that Rob Snyder quote that I pulled, which, people are always asking him, what is what is an example of a market pulling for a solution? What does customer demand look like in practice? And he says it's people actively trying to buy. So what does that look like? It means the product's not done, but they want in. It means you put a credit card sign up in front of them, and they're like, yes, fine. Mm-hmm. I got. That is what true customer pull, true customer demand looks like. And it's so easy to delude yourself when you're an entrepreneur, a founder, into thinking, well, you know, like people are signing up, we're getting some usage. Yeah. But you haven't shown that people want this. And people are always like, well, I'm going to finish the product first and then I'll launch it. Or I'll let them be free first. And then, no. If you want to prove at the beginning, and you really want to keep proving this, customers trying to buy, like right now, our video feature has a waiting list of over 1,500 people. 1,500 people have said, we want to do this. Now, so the second step is to say, okay, well, let's see how many of them try to buy. Let's email them and say, hey, you can do this, but you got to upgrade your account or you got to sign up for an account. Mm-hmm. And that's going to cost $49 a month or $490 a year. How many people do that? And there's a lot of people just knocking on the door saying, let me in. I have money. And we say, oh, but guys, it's not quite done yet. There's some bugs. I don't care. Let me in. We don't have distribute video to Spotify yet. I don't care. Let me in. That's the energy you're looking for.
Yes. But it requires you also to act confidently. Mm-hmm. Right? As opposed to like deferential or overly deferential.
Yeah.
And ironically, that confidence actually ends up being more attractive also.
Yeah.
So just the company and the page and the messaging having a confident approach that says, this is a 7-day trial. Like, we're not going to charge you, but if you want to walk in, put your credit card on file to show you're serious.
Yeah.
It ends up, so here's the funny thing. It doubled the number of accounts with credit card on file.
Yeah.
Right? Because now everyone that walks into the admin has a credit card on file.
Yep.
And that number is double what it was prior to the experiment. So first, let's just talk about that math real quick, because whenever I see something like this, I go to the math. Mm-hmm. I'm going to use hypothetical numbers. So I'm not talking very specifically about our numbers, but let's just say this, for example.
Yeah.
Let's say before the experiment, we had 5 cards on file per day. Mm-hmm. 5 times 30 is 150. 150 times our ARPU, call it $100. $15,000 in new MRR. Great. What happens when it doubles? It's 10 per day times 300. I forgot to add the 80%, 85% conversion rate.
Yeah, yeah.
But let's just go with it.
Go with it, yeah.
So now 300 times 100, all of a sudden 30K in MRR. Like you change your life, man. Like that is a different set of calculations entirely for your entire business. Mm-hmm. And here's what happened alongside it. Not only are there more cards on file, but because the person put a credit card on file, they become more motivated in their onboarding. So our activation metrics went through the roof. Now everybody tries it. Everyone's using it. Not only that, but because we separated out the plan choice from the credit card. Those used to be together at the end of onboarding. Okay, you've gone the onboarding, your agent's ready, choose a plan that's right for you, and put your credit card on file when you do that. Mm-hmm. Having those two decisions lumped together made people more cautious. When we separated them out, because the user already put the credit card on file, they go through the onboard and they're like, this thing's awesome. I'm already here. So now like a huge percentage are choosing the higher plans. Mm. So like, I just like transformed my business.
Wow.
In the span of like 3 weeks.
That's incredible. I love that you actually have, because we get them to choose a plan when they put their credit card on front. And for our model, you probably have to do that, but it's interesting to think about that from a customer's perspective, right? So I am in motion. I have a to-do list that I'm trying to solve. It leads me to heyrosie.com. I'm like trying to get in. I'm knocking at the door. I sign up with my credit card, but now I'm using it. I'm highly motivated to use it. Mm-hmm. It's increased my motivation that I already had. And then I get to the end of my trial and it's like, okay, wait, I've used this product now. I know how good it is. Where do I want to be here? Well, now I want to be up here because I've already experienced how great the product is. You kind of get the best of freemium without being freemium. Like that, it's like the best version of the trial, really, because that now they're opting into their own plan.
Everyone comes in at the lowest tier.
Yeah.
And then we show the base features during the onboarding. And at the end of the onboarding, we reveal the premium features. And then when you select the premium feature, that's when you are shown that feature requires a higher tier. And people are like, I'm already in. It already has all my info. I already tested it. Like, yes, I want those other things too. And I'm also in a trial, so it doesn't cost me anything to try those. So let me get them. Let me get the higher features.
This is actually a very cart hook
like checkout process.
Yeah, because it's like, hey, you've already got this. Do you want this? We already got all your info. And it's like, yeah, sure. Add on a couple more sticks of deodorant. Like,
yes.
Give me the extras.
Yes.
That's awesome. I think it's also, it reveals, because what's above that? This is the thing I think people still don't quite get, is somebody could hear what you just said and say, well, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to require a credit card, and I'm going to expect that it's going to double everything. It's going to double my MRR. But what's above that in the funnel, at the top of every funnel that people forget, people look at funnels and they're like, visitors to the website is always the top of the funnel or whatever. Well, what's above that is how much customer demand is there? How many people are in motion searching for this? The top of the funnel is number of people searching. That's
right. Outside of your website.
Outside of your website. Yes. They're in motion. They're looking, like Rob Snyder says, it's a priority on their to-do list, on their mental to-do list. It's like, right now, I'm trying to solve this problem. I know I need a solution for this. And when it's the day, like all business owners have the day where they're like, you know what, fuck this. And then they just go into Google. I'm going to find a solution. I'm going to find a service provider. I'm going to find some software. I'm going to hire somebody. This is getting done today. Like, I am in motion. I am highly motivated. That's the top of the funnel. The top of the funnel is people want to buy. People are trying to buy because there's something pushing them, right? Like they're pulling the product from you, but they are getting pushed by their own problem. Circumstances. Yeah,
their need. So I think the important lesson is everyone's funnel has a wide range of nuances, right? Our funnel is the way it is because we launched into a market with an enormous amount of skepticism. So a year ago, showing value before asking for an account creation, let alone a credit card, made a lot of sense. And so making this change is not the right thing for everyone to do. It depends on your funnel, depends on your market and your audience, where the traffic is coming from. Right? We have a bunch of paid traffic coming through. And so these points in the funnel have a ton of leverage. Yeah. Right? Because if it's like 100 visitors a day and 20 go to this step and 10 get to this step and 5 get to the last step or whatever that is, if you can increase the percentage at one of those junctures, it makes it's like an outsized difference. Like, oh, you've increased this by 20%, you can increase your revenue by a lot more than 20% because of it. So exactly what we did is specific to our situation. But the lesson is take control of your own damn funnel. There's a lot of leverage in these individual steps, and whatever has been working for a long time and you just assume your numbers are the way they are should be questioned regularly. So of course, next week, another experiment on the way. Right? I mean, I changed the H1 today. We changed the pricing page the other day. We changed the background color. More sign-up experiments next week. and now it's like I'm high. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I want more, I want. So I'm up last night. Claude design is good.
You've been really making some mock-ups?
Yes, making mock-ups to hand over to the designer, but it's so responsive to the prompts that it is really like a conversation with the designer. Like when I have a conversation with a designer, I send him a screenshot, I cobble something together. And then what I'll say in Slack is, can you move this here and move that there and give this more space and try this thing over here? You can just say that in Claude and it will just change the copy and keep everything the same and move this other stuff there and make it smaller. So it takes real direction effectively. And so the mock-up that I handed over today to the designer was like, this is done. like use our exact colors and exact fonts, but like, the copy is the way it is. The spacing, the color, like the trust symbols, like they're exactly the way I want them because I did a bunch of work on my desk before handing it over, which might be a good topic for after your update.
Yeah,
I have another topic around what should happen on each person's desk around using AI, but that's separate.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's awesome. I love all that stuff. I as a response, I'll say I am. If your challenge to people is to look at their funnel and maybe make a change, that is frightening for me. It's
How
just
come?
like, just because it's been working. It works so well right now.
Ooh, dangerous.
I know.
Dangerous.
I know.
The fact that it's working is dangerous.
I mean, there are things that, for example, adding video as a feature that requires you to sign up at a higher plan is already a change to the funnel in the sense that now we're going to have people opting in to a higher price plan right off the bat, which has never really happened before. Almost everybody starts on the starter plan. So now to have people choosing from the beginning, oh, no, I'm a video podcaster or I want to do video. So that will affect the funnel already. That'll be interesting to see. You do have me thinking, though, there's so many scenarios. Like, there's a big difference between somebody switching from another provider than starting a brand new podcast. So someone's been podcasting for 10 years. They're coming, they're like, I'm fed up. I've heard good things about Transistor. I'm switching. That energy and momentum and what they care about is very different than somebody saying,
starting new.
I want to start this, you know? So,
there's like cosmetic, psychological, visual elements of the funnel, and then there are like mechanical elements. Like, you do this, then you do that. You onboard in this way. You get to this screen. You have to get through that screen first. You have to choose a plan versus not choose a plan. I think all of it matters, but at least recently it feels like the mechanics of the funnel, like how it works, like when do you create an account, when do you add your credit card, when do you invite a team member, when do you like do these things in the product, feel like they're harder to change but can have a bigger impact. Like changing copy can improve conversion rate. You know, adding trust symbols, adding testimonials to the sign-up page, all these things. But it does feel like the way people experience going from your website into your product as a paying customer, that feels like there's a lot of leverage there.
A lot of opportunity. Pascal asks, Justin, do you feel like having video as a starting point creates a vacuum for a new top anchor? Yeah, I think so. I think that's the part that we're still figuring out. There will be a huge benefit for us just if more people are starting on the mid-tier plan. That will already be a big change. I think what we're going to do with the $99 plan is I'm still trying to figure that out. But what's clear to me is up till now, we haven't had enough value in the higher tiered plans, aside from number of downloads you get in each tier. But there hasn't been enough stuff in there that's encouraged people to upgrade. I think it's like if you start on starter, your likelihood of upgrading over the lifetime of your account is 4%. That's what it was before. And I think we're going to get a big increase just from folks now wanting to do video.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then you can also think about how that process looks and how they experience that process.
Yeah.
So there's one path for new users to choose the higher plan, upgrade to a higher plan during their trial, whatever else. And then there's a different path for existing customers to upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's email and notifications inside the app and revealing the value of the new feature and putting case studies in front of them. And also layering that into new users that come in at the bottom tier. And then, 60 days later, that's when you start the upgrade path around here's why you should consider this higher tier.
Yes.
Percentage of people watching video. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but
okay, you got me fired up about the funnel. I'm gonna go and look at all my onboarding emails. I'm gonna be like, I'm in. I'll report back.
Cool. Oh yeah.
So, I think what I want to talk about next is and really get your input, and actually anybody in chat as well. This would be interesting. I'm wondering, how do you do employee reviews? So we're right now. Our current cadence at Transistor is we have an annual review. We used to do them on their individual anniversary, but they're all kind of around the same time. And so we just said first week of July or second week of July, we just schedule them all that week. Everybody gets the review the same time. Helps John and I just be in that mindset. Typically, we schedule a call. We review the year. How did it go for you? What are some things you are really proud of? What are some things that energized you? What are some things that drained you? Where are you kind of going in your career that you think we should know about? Anything else we can do better as leaders? And then, typically we review compensation and benefits and things like that during that time.
So those are tied.
Those are tied right now.
Compensation, title. Yep.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, there's only 6 of us, so it's us. We're doing this with 4 people, and it's been pretty. It's formal. It's formal for us, but it is informal in a sense. What I'm thinking about doing is outside of that's a different question. Is like, how do you figure out pay raises and all that? I reached out to 10 founders, and every year I do this. I reach out to 10 people, say, how do you do this? What's your scale? All that. I've got a pretty good sense of how we could talk about that. Actually, it's interesting to see how different it is. But for the review itself, the thing I'm thinking about doing differently this year is sending them a pre-interview survey just to give them some things to write down. Have one of those questions as a self-assessment on how they think they did on a linear scale in terms of completing the requirements for their job. Like, did you meet them? Did you exceed them? Do you feel like you fell short? And then using that as the basis of our conversation. But yeah, I'm curious how you think about this, how you do this stuff.
So first, I just want to commend you on the different aspects that you just described. That's the right way to do it. What you mentioned in the reviews, ranging from what can we be doing better as managers, what are the highlights for you that you feel that you've done well on. So bravo. That's all the right stuff.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how small your company is. People care about their compensation. Obviously, they also care about their title. You cannot separate those two from anything around reviews. I think compensation philosophy matters almost more than compensation, because without a compensation philosophy, you get lost around compensation questions.
Yes.
And you don't have anything to fall back on.
Okay, tell me about it.
You need a compensation ideology. Otherwise, you're kind of lost.
What's an example of that? What's your philosophy?
Our philosophy is pay pretty high up on the scale. So call it top, 80, 90%, and then no bonuses. And then we increase based on cost of living adjustment for the Social Security published number.
Okay.
So people know, like, you're not going to get a gigantic increase in your compensation unless you're changing titles.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get into like a different role that has its own bands.
Yep.
But everyone knows we're not doing bonuses. We just pay you more, and we pay ourselves more, and we don't take bonuses either as leadership.
Yep.
And then we look at at the beginning of the year, in January, and we look over at the Social Security Administration and their published number on cost of living increase. And if that says 4.4%, everyone's salary is going up by 4.4%.
Got it. So you're really connecting it with cost of inflation, and that might be 3 to 5% increase every year.
That's right. And so that makes sense for us because we're still survivor mode. So we're limited in what we can and can't do, but we also don't want to pay people too little, right? The three executives in our company are in their 40s with kids, all three of us. And I'm not taking 100K, It doesn't make sense. So I got to pay myself well so that I can focus without being stressed. And that, you obviously want any compensation philosophy you have to be distributed fairly in terms of like everyone gets treated the same way. So a while back after Rally raised a bunch of money, we had a chief of staff, Claire, who was so helpful. She had a ton of HR experience, and she helped me learn a lot of these things around something like compensation philosophy and communicating it and setting expectations. I will say, since we did the pivot to Rosie, it's been so survival mode that we have thrown a lot of this stuff out the window. Not the compensation philosophy, but we're not nearly as formal as we should be on one-on-ones. We don't do annual reviews. We're just kind of like full survival mode.
Yeah.
And it does feel like it's soon time to come back. So I do think it makes sense where you are. It wouldn't have happened without you proactively getting the company there. But you're where you should be. It's a mature company. It's been around a while. Stability is important, and it's not just fly by the seat of your pants, and it's not just make stuff up as you go along. So I think you're doing the right thing. I need to catch up to where you are over time.
Yeah.
To settle things on that front, because I don't mind chaos, but most people that are not founders are not that into chaos.
Yeah. So in your model, you are paying high at the beginning. So you're offering a job, and because you said top 80% or something, 80th percentile, or what was that piece there? It was like we're gonna be.
You can do something like 50th percentile, and then people are motivated by bonuses.
Yeah.
So if someone who wants to make $200,000 a year gets paid $150,000 a year, but their total compensation with bonuses, if they hit all their targets, can be $250,000, that's one philosophy. Let's give you kind of the bare minimum, and then the rest is incentive based.
Yeah.
We decided not to do that because that is a very like sales oriented approach. And you have engineers, you have product people, you have so it didn't make sense for us. We're not a sales driven organization.
Yeah.
And so what made sense for us was, let's just pay people well. We're already asking a lot of them, but then you can't also get paid really well and then also get bonuses on top of it. Then it's kind of like, well, we're just overpaying everybody.
Yeah.
So that give and take around like a higher level of your role, like you're probably making more at our company than you would somewhere else with the exact same role. But
including
then no bonus.
Like big companies like Google and
big companies.
No, okay. So you're pegging this to like some sort of startup index.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, it's we certainly have a philosophy, and I think I think in a small company, what's really tricky is to figure out because I can remember working for small companies and being quite ambitious, partly because I had 4 kids to feed. So came into a company getting paid this, and I was very clear, like with everybody, like, listen, I want to make more money. Like I'm here, I have 4 kids, I want to make more money. And so, my first job in tech was in customer support. But I was clear with my boss. I said, listen, I want to do whatever it takes. I'm going to be asking you, I'm going to be noticing things, problems you need to have solved. I am going to be trying to solve those problems and moving up the stack and agitating a little bit, like I got myself to a certain place where I was like, you know what? I'm not where I need to be. I'm going to go interview at a bunch of places, got some offers, came back to my boss, said, I'm leaving. He said, no, stay. I'll give you a raise and a new title. And, that was a small company. So, yeah, I think I can understand there's different things that motivate different people. It's tricky to go like, it is tricky to figure all this stuff out.
No one just tells you the info. It's tough to find it.
Yes, yeah. I did get some founders to share with me their actual scale that they've used.
Okay.
A lot of it feels overly formal. Like it's just like, man, for 6 people, like it's like we don't have. Often there are these grids. I think everybody in the chat's probably seen these, but there are these grids of like. Meeting this thing, and then there's like 6 kind of responsibilities underneath it, and then in each box there's like a description of whether you're meeting it or not meeting it. I tried to create something like that, and as I was going through it, I'm like, this just doesn't feel right for me. Like I have a sense of like, are you killing it or are you not killing it? Are you at the top of your game? Or like, I think you kind of have an intuitive sense about that.
Right. There's only a few of you. It's not like they're 4 layers away and you never see them.
Yeah.
You really should have a pretty tight control over things and a feel, because any element of unfairness, any element of injustice between employees, favoritism, that's the poison. I think the hardest part for me for a very long time was empathizing with motivation that I didn't quite grok myself. My motivation is in the equity in the company that I want to sell and have a payday.
Yeah.
And yes, we give everyone in the company has stock options. But that's not the main motivation for most employees. Right. And so that it took me a little while to kind of wrap my head around what does that mean? What does that look like? How do I empathize with that if that's not the way like I'm built?
Yeah.
And that was really important to kind of understand. And now the way I think about things and the way I communicate them, especially when someone new is joining the company, is oriented toward them and their needs. Right. Like I like saying in the interview process, I know this is not the last job that you're ever going to have. What I want for you out of this experience is to have an incredible, challenging time where you learn. And when you walk away, you have a hell of a story to tell whatever you want to do next.
Yeah.
That you're really proud of. And it almost helps to set that, like, moving away from like, this is a family type of vibe and moving away from like, the expectation, the unrealistic expectation that you owe everything to the company and you'll never leave and all this other stuff. So that in my one-on-ones and in my empathizing with their point of view, you mentioned something that I think is critical on like, where are you in your career? Where is your interest leading you?
Yeah.
How can we help you? Because ignoring that stuff that's why people leave.
Yeah. And I think, that's, it is helpful to, get a sense of what people want. Like, you know, when I started doing customer support, I was like, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. You know, I want to do something else. And I was pretty clear, like, guys, like, I'm kind of biding my time right now. Like, I'm going to be an incredible employee for the next 5-10 years while my kids are young. But as soon as my kids are older, like, I'm going to start another company. That's going to happen. That fire is burning right now, and I'm like quenching it, and I will focus that energy on this company and will, you know, but the desire to build your own thing cannot be satisfied when you're an employee. You just can't. I don't think there's such thing as an entrepreneurial employee. I think entrepreneurs start companies. I think you can be ambitious. I think you can be creative. I think you can be on top of things. I think you could show incredible autonomy and foresight, etc. But for me, the only thing that was going to satisfy that desire to be an entrepreneur, and really what, you know, my friend Bob Perkins always says, your fastest horses are always the biggest pains in the butt. So like you got fast horses. Yeah, they're a pain in the ass. And where I was a pain in the ass I was like, I'm an owner. And they're like, no, you're not. you're an employee. I said, well, if this was my company, and they said, this isn't your company. And it was that frustration of being like, dang, if this was my company, I'd be doing this. Well, Justin, you got to go. Sorry, buddy. You know, if you want, we can. If you're not happy running around this track, we can let you out. We can put you out to field, and you can go do your own thing.
Yeah, just raise your hand. We'll stop the ride for you. Let you hop out anytime.
Yeah.
All right, what else, baby? What else?
Well, why don't we go with you had one more thing, and let's just end on that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I got these two things. The post on Victor I think is interesting, but maybe a better topic is this what happens on your desk.
Oh yeah. That's what I want to hear. Yeah.
Okay. Let me try to think about how to describe this. I have found when I have been describing this problem to peers that it's happening to other people also.
Okay.
Okay, here's the scenario.
Yeah.
Engineer works on a feature.
Yeah.
And of course, it's, June of 2026, so a lot of that work is done with AI. Okay.
Yep.
So let's say you're using Claude Code, you're building out a feature, right?
Yep.
So you're taking information from Linear, and there's a bunch of product requirements and specs and nuances and copy and all that stuff. And you bring that into Claude, and Claude's building it for you, and then you are getting ready to hand it off. Mm-hmm. And then it's got to go back to product to be kind of like finalized and checked, and everyone's, yes, this makes sense. What about the timing? Which deployment is it going into? Okay, so everyone kind of gets that process.
Yeah.
2 years ago, when Claude wasn't a thing, the level and depth of familiarity and understanding of each individual feature nuance in every little field, the developer just had a much stronger feel for. Because they built every little thing by hand themselves, and then when they handed it over, they had an enormous amount of ownership and understanding of every little detail.
Yeah.
And so in that Linear doc, after it's handed back over to product for some testing and review, when a question came up, the developer knew it, man. They knew their stuff cold because they just spent a week building it.
Yeah.
Something happened around these AI tools that created some distance between the developer and the code. And now when it gets brought back into the process as like, okay, let's get this tested and get ready for deployment, what we're finding is that sometimes the product person will have a question for the developer. The developer doesn't kind of know or doesn't kind of understand it the same way they used to.
Yeah.
And the product person's frustrated by it. Like, hold on a second. You handed me over something you don't fully understand.
Yeah.
And then when I ask you about it, you're going to Claude. And you're asking Claude about that nuance.
Yeah.
And you're handing that Claude answer over to the product person. The product person then all of a sudden has more work to do.
Yeah.
And so the way we've been thinking about this and talking about this is hold on a second. You have work product that's on your desk.
Yeah.
And when you hand over that work product, regardless of your role, what this could be copy in a landing page, it could be whatever.
Yeah.
You can't use AI to go super fast and then take that work product and hand it over to someone else and put it on their desk in a way that creates more work and stress and frustration for the person that just received your work product on their desk.
Yeah.
You gotta clean it up on your desk first.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you hand it over, it's gotta be at the same level of competency and understanding and depth as if you didn't use AI.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what we're really saying is you might need to slow down a little bit, but it's not fair for you to take your work that you're responsible for, not your work, your responsibilities, and just hand them over to someone else because it looks ready.
Yeah.
Does this sound familiar or like it makes sense?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's all sorts of versions of this in the popular culture as well, which is like, listen, like, don't give me your Claude readout. Like, that's just lazy. And you are giving me more work. Now I got to grok this thing that came from Claude. Like, and I think also because Claude is so verbose, the other thing people are pushing back on is like, and I've tried experimenting with these things. Like, I just created a ticket mostly with Claude. It's so verbose. And I just kind of was like, okay, well, maybe this is helpful. Let me know if it's not helpful or whatever. But there is a version of that where it's just like, come on. Like, and you know, there's obviously a lot of nuance to this, but generally what I really want is for people to have done as much of the work themselves as they can. And so, like, especially when we're like thinking about bugging one of the engineers, it's like, okay, before we get there, let's try to figure out every avenue possible to get this done on our own. And that might mean you have to manually do it. Like what they could write as an SQL query in 3 seconds, it takes you an hour. But you've saved them a bunch of time, and that trade-off might be worth it. Is this kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah. We see it in multiple places, and that's what started setting off some alarm bells. I started to sense some frustration, and people didn't really have a clear explanation for where the frustration was coming from.
Yeah.
But it started coming out in similar ways. So we have a lot of emails to write. Mm-hmm. We're launching stuff fast now. And when there's a new feature coming out, there's a whole bunch of emails that need to get written.
Yeah.
The announcement, what does the announcement look like for the existing customers? What about for new customers? What about for the main list? What about there's just a bunch of stuff to write. And of course, we should be using AI to help write. Mm-hmm. But then when a human reviews the email before it goes out, because you know at some point like real people are going to see this thing.
Yep.
And what we kept finding was like that's not exactly how the feature works. It kind of works that way, but that's not the right way to say it. So let me rewrite this sentence. And then this paragraph, it's not 100% accurate. So let me spend my time. Like, hold on, the person responsible for writing the emails, that work should be done on their desk.
Yes.
So we started seeing in copywriting, we started seeing in marketing, we start to see it in design, we start to see it in features, and we were like, this is a thing. Mm-hmm. People are using these tools, great, but we need to ask people to be more professionally conscientious.
Yeah.
Just because it's done, don't hand that shit over to me. You're going to be judged on what you hand over. Mm-hmm. That is a representation of your work product and your bar for excellence. Mm-hmm. And you're going to hurt yourself if you keep handing me junk and making me frustrated. And what it took was hearing enough frustration from other people to say, hold on. We need a new form of empowerment from me to say to every employee, hey, if someone gives you slop, don't do the work to fix the slop.
Yeah.
Push it back up. It can't come off your desk yet. It's not ready.
Yes. Yeah. Like if you think about an assembly line, I've just been listening to the Acquired episode on Walt Disney Company, and animation used to be an assembly line, right? And so you'd get one cell from the person before you, and then you'd have people that were coloring those in. But if you receive an animation cell and it's not correct, well, I can't start the coloring work until the outlining work has been done properly. So sorry, you got to go back and you got to finish that. I think it's a similar idea, and maybe even broadening this concept. I think, and this is something I'm going to try to figure out how to encourage the team with, is in your role of responsibility, I really want, and I think this is hard for John and I both because we like to take on a lot of the responsibility, but to say, listen, like this is your responsibility. Like, I shouldn't be finding problems with this just haphazardly as I'm navigating my day. Mm-hmm. You should be on top of that. Like, you are ultimately responsible for this piece. Now, of course, we're all going to help each other out. Sometimes we're going to run into things like, oh, Justin, you forgot this. There's a typo on your email. Sure, that's fine. But in general, I think this idea of here's the work on your desk or here's your sphere of responsibility, it doesn't just have to do with the assembly line. It also has to do with the warranty. It has to do with, like, who installed this furnace? Oh, that was you? Okay, well, it's your job to maintain the furnace. Like, it's your job to make sure that thing keeps running. It's your job to make sure that thing is optimized. It's your job to make sure that thing is clean. And I think defining those things is helpful, especially because teams can suffer from this thing of, like, invisible work where some people are just shouldering an enormous amount of work. Yes. And nobody realizes it. It's like, how's all this getting done, you know?
It's one of the trickier things about really good employees often have a very high threshold for pain.
Yeah.
And what I ask people is to lower their tolerance for pain.
Yes.
If something hurts above a certain degree, just raise your hand. Hey, something's not right.
Yeah.
Because the process shouldn't hurt that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really like a team sport.
But what about the reverse of that? Like,
what,
it also
complaining too much? Or?
Yeah, it feels like there's the opposite problem too, which is just like, listen, like, this is a job, man. We're not digging ditches here. This is a good job. We got things to do, and
I don't have any of that in my company, man.
They're going.
It doesn't. Yes.
Yeah.
I think I've created enough of an environment where as soon as that pops up, the people around them have enough permission to basically point at it and say, "This ain't right. This doesn't make sense. This is not how we do things." And my willingness to fire people because they don't fit has created an environment where people just feel like no one's doing that. No one at the company. This is remote. I never see anyone, and I have no worry about people, like, trying hard. So I think that's kind of like a table stakes for a small company. Big company, you can't keep that up. But a company under 10 people, there's no room for that at all.
Yeah, there must still be discrepancy though. Like, it feels like this is what I think it is difficult to know, and this isn't just with Transistor. I think that any team I've been a part of, I'm always kind of like, there is always this feeling of like, is everyone else working as hard as me? Like, like it's hard. It is hard to know sometimes, and to evaluate that.
The evaluation, I agree, very difficult. What I found is evaluation's impossible because it's super subjective. And evaluation through more objective measures is a lot better. And for me, it's not like measurement, like how many tickets are being done, how many lines of code. It's just, is there friction in the process? Because friction just reveals itself. Friction's like, well, this email is supposed to go out, and you were responsible for the copy, and it's not done. Yeah. So, like, what's going on here? And that just very rarely happens. Yeah. On one hand, maybe it means we're not going fast enough, but on the other hand, it's like it's humming along properly enough that if something pops up, it becomes very apparent very quickly, and then there's just very open-minded. What's going on? Everything okay? And there's almost always, I'm sorry, this week's been crazy. Here's what's going on at home. My bad. I'll be back to normal next week, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, great. Oh, you're human. Great. Me too.
Yep. I think that's good, man. I think we did it. I think this is a good episode. We got about an hour of chat in.
Yes.
I hope, Brian, I hope you're out there on a plane listening to this right now. We missed you, buddy. Good. Hopefully we'll have you back in the coming weeks. Are you here next week, Jordan?
I am here next week, and I'm heading over to the Outer Banks. But not until July. Yeah, I'm around the next few weeks.
Okay. Well,
unless of course I fly off to Miami by myself to watch a soccer game with my friends.
Yeah. Well, that should happen too, for sure.
I think so too. Absolutely.
All right. Thanks to everyone in the chat that showed up. I see all you folks. We got TJ the Dev, Dave Jones, Tamer, Tix2. Lots of great comments in here, especially once we started talking about, the cognitive debt, employee reviews. Really great feedback in here. You're always welcome to join us when we stream live. Just join our mailing list on panelpodcast.com. We'll see you folks next time. Bye. All right. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Very nice. I keep thinking about this. I posted this Juliana Moore quote in our thing. The audience doesn't come to see you. They come to see themselves. It's one reason I like having live chat is because whenever we land on something where people see themselves in it, it kind of pops off a bit.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
That's it. I like that. From an actor, to kind of understand like, yes, I'm the star and everyone's looking at me. But the reason they're so interested in me is because they're looking for themselves in my performance.
Yeah. And one more quote that I thought of, it made me think of you when I heard it, is this quote from Mike Vardy. I keep coming back to how much of our frustration isn't really a systems problem. It's an expectations problem. It feels like that just comes up in our chats all the time. Like, what expectations are we setting for people? What expectations are we setting for ourselves?
For ourselves. It's exhausting.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, brother. Good to